Donie Buckley, I suppose, is the first place to start. What you make of, what would you read into that departure?
I think he was kind of, I think he was the county board's pick. Peter Keane was happy with his management team, and it's probably not a great footing to get off on anyway. And I'm disappointed. I think I said off the ball this morning that he's a professional GAA coach. Much written to him year round. He's retired. Yeah. He travels to Australia to see Aussie rules setups. He takes stuff that they do away tactically, and he tries to mould GAA stuff around it. He does the same with basketball. He lives out in Florida during the winter, and he goes down to colleges and high-level college programs and gets in there and sees how they work with the teams and etc. And he'll be a loss to Kerry, but at the end of the day, Peter Keane has been very successful with his own management team, so he'll probably take it as a thing of nothing and work on. But it's just when you look at even Dublin with Jim Gavin, the way they're able to bring in other coaches, Mark Ingle and different people into the setup, and to have a helping role. I think Donie could have had that helping role. Whether Donie wanted more or not, I'm not privy to that. But I think overall it's, you were just knowing Donie too and how much he loves Kerry and how much you were just disappointed for him really that he's not a part of the setup anymore. But you have to respect whatever way it went down to. You have to kind of respect that as well.
You kind of left under similar circumstances the last time when you were in there. Was there, when you said he was the county board's appointment rather than the management's appointment, could you almost feel that when you were in the camp, or was there anything like that?
Well, I don't think he was the county board's pick when we were there.
Okay.
So it might be slightly different, but he was out there as a coach, and I think the county board said this guy is too good not to have, so we'll take him on. And then maybe Peter didn't want him taken on, so maybe he wasn't in. Maybe the relationship wasn't where it needed to be harmonious and working well, and both feeding off each other and both helping each other and being very open to each other's ideas. I would certainly say that's between Peter and Tommy Griffin, and Tommy's a very good defensive guy as well, and a very good coach in his own right. So maybe that's where Peter probably felt that he wanted to go with it, and it's a big decision to make.
Yeah. Do you think James Horn or any other managers might be picking up the phone? Or?
I don't think Donie do it really this year, to be honest, because he's a real in-depth knowledge of the Kerry setup even up until a few weeks ago. So taking him with somebody else now, we probably wouldn't be Donie. I would say he's a very private guy, brilliant. He's brilliant at what he does, and I just don't see him jumping on board with somebody else.
Is Keane, obviously he'll have his decisions and you have to respect that, but it seems to have put a lot of pressure on himself now that Kerry really have to go and deliver this year, because
Kerry have to go deliver.
Exactly. But with Donie Buckley being as popular a figure as he is, and everybody talking, especially with Mayo the last couple of years getting so great, everybody talking about Donie's input in that.
Yeah.
It would seem as if now he's added extra pressure on himself that already comes with being boss of Kerry. Yeah,
he won't see that though, because he doesn't really, to put it mildly, he doesn't give a shit what people think. Do you know what I mean? So he won't care about any of that really. He's doing what he thinks is best for him and his management team and his players, and that's he's not, he would not make a decision because of how it'll look or how the optics would look on the outside. That's one thing I can say about Peter. He's very straight, and he's to the point, and he doesn't care what people think or what people might say or might try and conjure up ideas to why it's not working if it doesn't work this year. He came in last year, he got a massive bounce off the players, and they were very unlucky not to win the All-Ireland the first day out, and they'll have to go back, and they know the areas they have to work on. They know defence is an issue, whether Donie's there or not. It's an issue that they're going to be looking to work on and improve. They're getting Peter Crowley back, who was a massive loss to us last year, and they'll be looking to try and drive it home, and he'll be trusting in Maurice Fitzgerald and Tommy Griffin to kind of, and himself obviously to maybe he feels that that's the best way to go for him right now, and if he feels that if that's his feeling, he has to go with it, no matter whether it's popular or unpopular, whether it adds pressure or doesn't add pressure. It's the life of a manager. It's not easy, and you've big calls to make. He's made a big one, and throughout his career, he's done well on the back of his calls. So I'm sure he's going to that as well. You
dipped your own toes into the coaching this year with the college. How'd you find that?
I loved it. It's hard with the college team because you don't have all the guys all the time, and you're chopping and changing. Some nights you've 9 at training because there's county training going on, so it is very difficult that way, but enjoyed it, and I wanted to dip my toe into it as a manager and learn and get some experience, and they were a great group to work with, and we were a bit unlucky. We named the team in the Wednesday night, and I lost 4 backs from the Wednesday night till the Sunday. So 2 went up and 1 got injured. Michael Potts got injured out of Kerry training on the Thursday night. We trained Monday, Wednesday. Some of them had to train with the counties, and a lad went up to Wicklow, Conor Byrne, or Thomas Curran, a cornerback, went up to Wicklow to train and drove up and tore his hamstring, and Potts tore his hamstring, and they were bad losing the 2 of them. And then Gavin Crowley, who was playing with Temple Ogan the Saturday before the Sigerson game, he tore his groin, and to add insult to injury, I was sitting down in a pub after losing the National Cup semi-final with the Warriors, trying to get my head around the next day, and got a phone call from Carl Ferreter, a young footballer from Monaskal, who's been in with the underage with the 20s last year, really promising, a young player. I'd converted him from kind of a corner forward to an attacking wing back. And he rang me and said he got the mumps. So
like Mr. Burns' softball team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a lot going on, and I had to call a meeting with the management team to come back in on Sunday morning 2 hours before the game to try and figure out how we were going to move pieces around. But that's there were the challenges, but there was also great learning that to be able to adapt. And we were playing Carlow, we were 5 points up with 8 or 9 minutes to go. They got a brilliant goal. It gave them massive energy, and they were really fit. They were really well conditioned. A lot of probably 16, 17 inter-county lads playing with training with inter-county teams. Great level of fitness. Bring up. Pat Critchley did a great job with them. He'd them really well organised, and they came like a train at us in the last 5 minutes in Tralee and got a massive win on the road. So it was a tough one to take because it's 1 game and you're out, and we played really well the week after against that Athlone above in Limerick, and it was disappointing, but it was a great experience and got on well with the lads.
How close or how much access did you have to Clifford during all of that? Or?
He was brilliant. He made himself available every single chance he had.
Is there any coaching a player like that, or did you just let him go for it?
Not really. It was more around the team, more so than coaching individuals really that I would have been focusing on, and but he's got stuff to learn. He's got stuff to work on. He knows that, and he will be continuously working on himself to get better. Over his head is an area where I know that he'll want to keep getting better at it. He's so good out in front, and he's so good at taking fellas on, but he's a big man, and with the mark now, if you can get one over the top, it's a goal chance or it's an automatic free. So there's every player out there has stuff to work on, and very intelligent players know what they have to work on, and he certainly doesn't see himself as some kind of finished article where it's just kind of it's all done up and made for him from here. He's kind of very aware of how and what areas he wants to improve in and how he wants to get better to lead Kerry for the next decade or so. But in terms of being there on cold wet Wednesday nights at training, when really a player that was after putting in the year he had, winning All-Star and getting to an All-Ireland final, playing in a replay, winning a county championship with his club, it's an awful long year. And I told him to that I want him to take 2 or 3 weeks off, and I didn't really want to see him, and he took I think he took 10 days, and then he was back in with us, and he was there every night, and then when Kerry started up, he was kind of one night with Kerry, one night with us, and he was trying to kind of do everything really. And out of all the intercounty lads I had, he was, you know, unbelievable really in his application. And you know what, myself and Mahoney and the lads, the management team, were sitting back kind of going, that's why this kid is what he is really, like, you know, because it's just so easy for a fella like that to say, oh look, I'm sore, I'm not able to do this, or I can't travel, or I've this going on, I've that going on, because he had all-star dues and he had 101 things going on. And I said to the group when I took them over, I said, a lot of fellas have a lot of masters. They're at that time of the year, they're playing club football, they're trying to play college, they're trying to play under 20s, they've loads going on. And I told them I didn't want to be a guy that was pulling and dragging out of them. So but I couldn't speak highly enough of him as in to work with him. And you know, I don't even think it had anything to do with the fact that we'd such a kind of, when I played with him in 18, that we, you know, that he treated it any different because we had that relationship as a player and a teammate. I just think that's the kind of guy he is, and what separates him from most really.
Was he vocal in the dressing room?
No, he's not. He's not banging and shouting, but when he does speak, it's like pin drop stuff. Like, you know, everybody just zones into what he's saying, and he has that influence on groups. And he had that when he came in with us at Kerry as an 18-year-old. You know, when he started speaking, and as I said, he wouldn't be speaking too much, but when he started, or when he had a point to make, there'd be silence, because he was like Colin Cooper when he was young. Like, you know, they're just years ahead of themselves, you know. David's like a 30-year-old really, you know. He is, he's a 30-year-old, and he's a 30-year-old in his headspace anyway. He's that smart, he sees that far ahead of everybody else. You know, he sees 2 or 3 passes ahead. So when these guys speak, they're speaking from a place of kind of
The future nearly.
yeah, they're ahead. I don't know, it's hard to explain it.
What are you thinking of the advanced mark so far? Surely you'd have fucking loved it.
Yeah, it would have been great to concentrate on catching the ball. And what do I think of it? I wish they kind of made the distance longer. 20 yards, a 20-yard kick is very easy to execute, and you know, it's a very quick ball to travel. Whereas if they left it at kind of 40 yards, 40 is harder to measure, but it basically means it's a long kick, which would encourage somebody looking in, seeing a 2-on-2 and kicking at 40 yards, and that's where you'd have guys catching at 2-on-2, goal chances. If he couldn't get up and pass it off, it's an automatic mark. You know, it takes away this hand up, and you know, it makes it very obvious to what is rewarded as a mark, and make it easier on the refs. So I think it's good, but I certainly think they have to tweak it. And the tweak I would make would be make it from 20 yards to 40 yards. Because you're just taking away all the confusion. Was it 20? Was it 18? Was it 22? How far was it? Whereas if you leave it at 40 is a long kick. You know, it's a kick that's more 50-50. It's very hard to kick it to a fella's chest from 40 yards under control where he's out in front. You'll get 1 or 2. But what I think it would encourage is what people want to see when they go to games is high ball in around the house, fellas competing. And then if a guy catches it and is surrounded by 2 or 3 fellas, that he had the option to throw his hand up and get an easy score. That's what people wanted. I think that's what people wanted when they were talking about the mark initially. I think people were excited because they said there was going to be a nice high ball coming in. But I'm afraid what we might see in the championship is not too many high balls at all, and all these kind of little dinky 20-yard balls, which slowing the game down and making it very hard for defenders, and maybe getting more bodies inside your own 45, not to give up these marks. You're encouraging negative play again. It's if they could somehow make a little tweak before the championship where they just say, we're extending it out, we don't like what we've seen in the league, and we're going to extend it out for the championship to 40 yards to encourage the long kicks.
Kieran, and Basketball Ireland brought out a statement there a while ago after the FAI got their bailout from the government, and they were, you know, they brought up the idea that there's a double standard there. What did you make of that?
They're probably right, really. You know, they were made let people go from their jobs and go the long route and get people to fundraise and get their own legs back under them. We couldn't host Irish teams, we couldn't send Irish teams abroad, we couldn't have Irish teams there was a whole 6 or 7 years of people's careers effectively, damaged by it, for a very small amount, 3 or 4 million. I'm sure it could have been better dealt by the government. And look, obviously we're not saying that the FAI shouldn't be looked after and bailed out. It's too important to the country, football, to not. But in the basketball community, we'd see basketball as very important as a game that can be played all year round. It can be played indoors. There's never anything called off. It's a very important game to a lot of people, and they're rightly not annoyed that the FA got the bailout, but annoyed that they didn't get the bailout or some kind of help. They fought their own way back, and they're back on their own 2 feet now. But I would presume that was put out there to ensure that there's more funding going forward for basketball now, because it needs it. Our facilities are way behind, and we definitely need more for. I think it's the 3rd highest played sport in the country, so needs to be done. Something needs to be done.
Just on the basketball, something that was touched on last week in the Laker Gale was the merger in Tralee, and you were central to that. That must have been a hard thing to get over the line or get through. I imagine there was years of rivalry there that you're trying to bring together.
There was years of rivalry, and we got myself and Terry O'Brien, who would have been the chairman of the old Tigers team that I played on. I got Terry was my first port of call because I knew he'd be neutral, so I was like, Terry, you can be my we can try and get these together. Then we got the vice chairmans, or we got the chairmans from both clubs in, and tried to hammer out a few issues that were bugging people, and tried to get them to see the light and the potential that could be in this, and also how hard it would be for them to go Super League by themselves, and that we were without top level basketball in Tralee for 7 or 8 years at that stage, 7 years, and I felt it was long enough, and that we had to move, and we had to move now, and we had to approach Basketball Ireland with the team we had. So St Brendan's, the team I was playing with in the town at the time, had won the Intermediate Cup in the arena that January. And we kind of set out after that then to make sure that we were going to try and play in the top level that following season, and we approached Basketball Ireland with our plan, with our idea about how to get crowds in, what we were going to make our games a show, that families could come to, smoke machines, turn the lights out, lasers, all that kind of stuff that just kind of makes a bit more of a deal out of it for a 7-year-old that's coming to a sporting event. And it's skyrocketed. Numbers are crazy in both underage setups, so they still have their own individual clubs underage, and they bring their players up, and then that there's an avenue for their players to play at the very top level in Ireland, which is when we put it that way, and when Basketball Ireland had a structured league program that can do that, it made it appealing, and all of a sudden we were getting through all the issues that were major issues over the years, and just getting people working together. But yeah, like last year, I was never as proud as the day we lifted the Super League trophy inside Tralee, and fans from both clubs and people mingling and all with the one common goal at the end, which was to try and help the Warriors win a game, and likewise on the court, players from the Imperials and players from St Brendan's, all on the one journey. Yeah, it was unbelievable. We won the last 11 games of the year to win the first league for the Warriors club.
Thanks for watching our game. Don't forget to like and share the videos, and if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe.